Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be demoing the Viseart Cashmerie palette. I love this palette. I think it's beautiful. The color story on this is beautiful for fall winter. And I love the design. I own just a couple of Viseart palettes. I don't have a huge collection, but their shadows are just top-notch quality. And I decided to put this on my wish list, and my bestie did give this to me. Thank you, Lily. She did go ahead and snag this one for me. This color story is something that for me, it gives personally gives me fall winter vibes. And I love that the Viseart shadows come with this plastic tray over the shadows, because it really does help protect all of the little shadows in here. And it really does help the shadows from coming in contact with harsh weather, which is super important for me personally. When I am purchasing makeup, I do pay attention to packaging because I live in Florida. And we don't often get, very cold weather, but occasionally we do get it's always very hot here, but we occasionally do get very cold. Case in point today, we're in the 30s. We're in the 30s, guys, in the 30s in Florida. Unheard of. And last night it borderlined the 20s. Yeah. So you guys know, born and raised in Miami, my body's going through a full rejection. My body doesn't understand this kind of weather. And so I'm in full-blown snow gear anywhere I go. Even if it's to the laundry room, I'm in full gear. I'm talking about boots and everything. So I don't care. Just letting you guys know. But with that said, when you live in an area where you have either a really cold weather or really hot weather, it's important that you pay attention to like the packaging your makeup comes in, because you do want to protect it from the constant like harsh weather. That does help the longevity of your makeup overall. So usually what I do is, when I buy palettes, I do like to keep them in their box and stored in like a dry area, in my drawer or whatever, where I know the AC will constantly, be circulating that humidity, because we get a lot of humidity here in Florida. And keeping them in their boxes does help with the longevity of that. So that was the explanation nobody asked for, but that is the reason I love purchasing Viseart palettes, is because they come with those plastic trays on top, very sturdy. And I like the fact that when I'm traveling with these, that I know that plastic tray is gonna keep those individual shadows in place. Because if you don't know, the Viseart eyeshadows actually come out. They have these ridges here, and you can just pop the shades out. And sometimes you'll see that when you order these in transit, or when you're traveling with these, some of these like little squares may slightly like shift upward or not, and it's because you're able to remove them and purchase these shades individually. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and let you know what I'm wearing on my face, because I did go ahead and put that on to save us some time. So I have my Bare Minerals original foundation on, and I'm the color light, number 8. And then I have my Bare Minerals Mineral Veil as my setting powder. Let's go ahead and apply some bronzer. I am using my Too Faced Hot Chocolate. This is the Hot Cocoa limited edition bronzer. They came out last year for the holidays, and I will be using just a domed brush. This is a Charlotte Ronson. I don't know if anybody knows about this brand, but it is like very old. I'm talking about over a decade old. Sephora used to carry these brushes. They don't anymore. That's how old this brush is. And I keep meaning to get rid of it because it's not in the best condition and it is shedding a lot, but it does so well with powder bronzers, but it's getting a little scratchy and I feel like I should really just let it go. And I can't. You guys ever like create some kind of like, I think it's a memory thing. Like I think that this is one of the first, you know, bronzer brushes I ever purchased, and I think I'm having an issue kind of like letting it go. But it's not that serious. I have a ton of bronzer brushes that perform way better than this, and yet I keep pulling this one out, and it's not pleasant on the face. It's a little rough. But oh, anyways, let me just show you. I've been really going to town on this bronzer, and it's like a little hot chocolate. It does smell like hot chocolate. It smells delicious. But yeah, so this is a bronzer that I have been wearing. Let's go ahead and apply some blush. I'm gonna be using my Rephr number 4 brush, and I thought that because I'm using this like taupe mauve kind of color story, I thought this would be like the perfect time to use that new Nude Sticks blush that I had demoed for you guys a couple of weeks ago in the color Mood Blue, right? Am I saying that right? Moody Blue. So I'm just gonna take my brush directly onto the bullet. It is this like beautiful, let me swatch this for you guys in case you guys missed that other video, but it's this beautiful purple blush, and I have been dying to get one of these like purple blushes. That's beautiful. But I can't find them in powder form, and I can't find this this true purple shade. It's a cool toned purple. I have a couple sips left. I should have poured more coffee before sitting down to do this video. But I haven't been able to find this exact shade. I feel like I either find like a lavender or a mauve tone, but not a true purple. And Nude Sticks is the only one that carries this particular shade. And it's a cream form, but I would prefer a powder form. So let's just try it out. It just does such a good job at giving you like this cool toned kind of effect. Let me use my magnified Reiki mirror over here because it's gorgeous. I love this blush, and I truly haven't been able to find anything like it. I really haven't. It's just a very unique shade. I don't own anything in my collection that looks remotely like this. Not even close. And I know that Armani Beauty has a purple one, but they've been sold out for like the past year, so I don't really know if, you know, they're discontinuing that. I'm getting the pigment I had swatched on the back of my hand here, because I need a little bit more. So I don't know if they're discontinuing those Armani blushes. Anybody heard any news on that? Because I feel like they're always sold out and you can't find them anywhere. Okay, so I think that's good. A little bit goes a long way. I use tapping motions because my base products are powder. It doesn't disturb the makeup underneath. Obviously, I do use a brush that's good with cream products. That's important. If you happen to use a brush that's not for cream products, it will lift your makeup. It will not blend out well, even if you use stippling motions. So just make sure that when you are combining cream with powder products, that you use a cream brush for your cream products, because that's going to really help everything flow. And as you can see, like, this is a pretty bright, you know, bold blush in this bullet. But look how beautiful that applies to the cheek. I just think it looks gorgeous. So I turned on my Ricky mirror because I was getting a shadow from this side with the way that the sun is positioned today. But it's just beautiful. I love this blush. Let's see how long this mini lasts, because I'm contemplating getting the full size of this. I digress. All right, let's move on. So the next product I'm gonna go ahead and apply is my highlighter, and I am going to use part of what I'll be demoing today are these Morphe brushes that, again, my best friend Lily gifted me for Christmas, and I'm really excited to try these out. She really likes Morphe brushes. I actually don't think I've ever used Morphe brushes. I've used Sigma, but I've never used Morphe brushes. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I haven't. So I'm gonna be using my Chanel Blush Comet Soft Glow Blush in Peche Cosmique. Now, we all know the drama of this blush that wasn't really a blush. That, you know, this is the one where you could see like the star if you shift it. You see it's kind of still there. This isn't a blush. This is more like a soft highlight. But after, you know, using it more and more, there's 2 blushes released with this collection, and using this on top of the really bold one actually gives it a softer look, which actually looks beautiful. But today we're gonna be using this as a highlight with my A14 Morphe brush, and we're just gonna apply that very so lightly onto my cheekbone. For me, this is the perfect subtle highlight. They should have just been honest and be like, hey, this is a highlight. But no, they said this is a blush. I mean, I don't know for who. I don't know for who, because not even vampires can wear this as a light blush, but hey, whatever. So it just gives that very subtle sheen, and I've truly been enjoying this as a highlight. Next, I'm gonna be applying my Urban Decay primer potion. We gotta prime those eyelids. You guys, every time I think that there's nothing left in this thing, I continue to scoop out more. It's like a Mary Poppins bag. It just, I don't know, it just never runs out. I don't understand. Every time I'm like, okay, this is the last use, boom, I find more in there. So I'll let you guys know though when I'm done with it. Gotta give it to Urban Decay though. They don't play around filling up that bottle. Okay, so lids are primed. Let's go ahead and start applying some of these shadows. All right, so the first brush I'm gonna use here is gonna be my A29 brush, and let's see, I'm gonna go in with this flesh tone right here. It is a, actually I'm gonna turn off my Ricky mirror light here for a second because I feel like it's messing with the actual colors of the palette with the natural light that's coming in through the window. So I'm gonna apply this flesh tone right here, and I'm gonna apply that all over the lid. If you guys have never used Viseart shadows, do not snooze on this one. This particular shadow though, these shadows are super pigmented, they're buttery soft. They are a dream to blend. Viseart truly has one of the best eyeshadow formulas out there. This particular palette though, although Sephora carries a lot of Viseart palettes, they do not carry this specific one. This one you can find on Beautylish and Viseart, the website, which by the way, they currently have 30% off with, I think, the code winter30. So if you're thinking about trying a Viseart palette, now would be the time because you can get it at a really good deal. All right, so the next shade I wanna go into is gonna be, okay, there's several here that I wanna dig into. So I really love this one right here and this one and this one. So because I wanna do first, I wanna build this up and I wanna use as many shadows as possible for the sake of this video, I'm actually gonna go ahead and dig into this corner shade right here. And I'm gonna be using, again, A20, and I'm going to just apply that all over the lid for a nice little wash of color. These Morphe brushes are really, really soft, by the way. I don't know, I can't talk about, you know, like durability and stuff like that, but you guys know I always update you guys on any, you know, new brushes I buy, because I do like to use them for a while before I even can form an opinion, you know. But these, right, these, you know, as a first use, they're extremely soft. Okay. So I've applied that as a wash of color all over the lid. Next, I want to go into a transition shade, and I want to use the A11 brush. By the way, these Morphe brushes come in a set. You can get the face set or an eye set, or you can get the whole set at Ulta, but Morphe also has these, and I think they're 20% off, so you can get a deal on those. Okay, so as a transition shade, I want to go into this really beautiful chestnut shade, and I know you're like, that's a little bit dark for a transition shade, girl, but I want to use that because as a transition shade, because I want to lay this darker one on top. Am I crazy? Layering a shimmer over a matte in my crease? Maybe. Maybe this will come out horrible and this video will never see the light of day. But for right now, that's what we're doing. I mean, look how easily that blends out. Okay, I decided to bring you a little bit closer because I realized this may be very hard for you guys to see from afar. So I'm very lightly dipping my brush into that shadow. And just blending that into the crease. That is stunning, stunning. I loved this palette the moment it was released this year. It was you know those palettes that come out that are kind of like your go-tos, and you can't help it, like you may have 1,000 of those kind of shades, but you're like, you need it, and you try to have self-control because you know you have a lot of makeup, so you don't buy it, and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. Well, that's what I did. This was released, I think, earlier this year or last year, and I really did pretty good at not purchasing it, and it had been on my wish list for so long. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the older I get, the less things I have on my wish list for birthdays, Christmas, whatever. And so I was just like, you know what, let me just add this to my wish list. and if someone gets it for me, you know, great. But I think I did pretty good at having self-control and not ordering this palette, because I do have a lot of makeup, and this isn't technically a unique color story in my collection. I have these shades in several other palettes, but I love this. I really do love it. Okay, I'm wiping off this brush on a microfiber towel I have here in front of me. And now I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this deep plum, shimmery, kind of purpley, magenta looking shade. And I'm gonna layer that on top of that chestnut shade. Let's see what happens. I'm going in super light. Oh, that's really pretty. I love that combination. And that's another thing about Viseart shadows. They just layer so nicely with minimal effort. Look at how beautiful that looks. You guys, this palette, I knew I was gonna like it, but I feel like I like it more now. These cool toned, taupey, purpley shades, I think I have to say are my go-tos for like winter, fall. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the A14 brush that I used for highlight. I'm actually just wiping that down, and I'm gonna use it to just soften out the edges here and just, you know, blend everything together. And this is good like if you have any skipping of eyeshadow, because skipping doesn't always necessarily mean that the shadow is bad. It's just some of us the skin on our eyelids aren't as taut anymore, and that can happen when applying shadows. Isn't that pretty? All right, next I am gonna go in with this taupey shade right here, and I'm actually gonna apply that on the center to the outer half, and I'm gonna be using the A19 brush, which is actually a dual-ended brush, so I'm gonna be using this side to apply that. This video was not gonna happen unless I was able to use that shade. And I'm just layering that. Oh, that's beautiful. Actually, I want to drag that all over the lid. So I'm just gonna bring it in, and I'm just layering that. I love that. That looks beautiful. Oh, okay. This is probably one of my favorite shades in this entire palette. That's absolutely gorgeous. And you guys, again, I'm using a very light hand with these shadows. That's stunning. Now I'm gonna use the other side of the brush, and I'm gonna dip into that matte, deep chocolate brown shade right here in the corner, and I'm gonna use that as eyeliner. And just very lightly dipping my brush in there, and I'm just gonna stamp that. You know that when I'm doing this kind of liner on my eyes, I always prefer a flat brush like this versus the angled ones. I don't know why. I think it's just the shape of my eye near my lash line. It just does better with this type of brush. Another thing I wanted to note about Viseart shadows is, as you can see, there's not any fallout. There isn't any fallout all over my face. Like, you can't, even with this deep dark shade, there's no fallout. So, like I said, top notch. Okay, that is beautiful. Let me go ahead and, just for the sake of this video, I would leave it right here. This would be my done look, but I want to use as many shadows as possible. I'm going to use this very light shimmery shade right here, and I'm going to use my ring finger. I'm going to lightly tap this onto the center of the lid. Going in lightly first because I don't, ooh, how beautiful is that? Don't snooze on this palette. That's pretty. That is stunning. This is definitely, I think, out of all the palettes I own from Viseart, I already know this is my favorite. There's something about, you know, I gravitate to color stories like this. Just the taupes and the purples. It's my jam. It's my jam. Anything nude or taupey like that, I really like. That's beautiful. Okay, let's go in with some mascara and some eyeliner. All right, so here is the completed look. I applied some Tarte Lights Camera Lashes as mascara. I applied some of my Gimme Brow eyebrow gel in number 4. And I applied some of my Chanel eyeliner in 949 Blanc Graphique on my waterline. And this is the final results. All right, so now let's do lips. I thought that the perfect color for this Viseart palette would be the Pat McGrath Madame Grage. If you don't have this exact color in your collection, I'm sure just get a similar mauve cool toned lipstick would do. But right now, I feel like this shade right here is perfect for this look. And out of all of the Pat McGrath lipsticks I have ever purchased and own, Madame Grage is my favorite color. So here we have Madame Grage, a little corpse-like. And then I'm going to apply my MAC lip gloss in Frills and Chills, which is this beautiful little cool toned lavender. Sorry about that, my watch thought I was talking to it. I forgot to put it on cinema mode. Okay, so I'm gonna apply some of this over my lipstick, which I think matches this lip color perfectly. Guys, I don't know about you, but does anybody else just love the smell of the MAC lip glosses? They're so iconic. I remember Oyster Girl was a must-have at all times in my makeup collection. Like, I would run out and purchase another one the moment I ran out. So I think that this is a perfect gloss to go with this lipstick. All right, let's go ahead and get into some swatches. while I give you my overall thoughts on this palette. So in general, Viseart has always been an amazing makeup brand. I have been purchasing their shadows for the past 2.5, 3 years. I purchased their eyeshadows mainly through Beautylish, but I know that Viseart itself on their website constantly runs a lot of sales, a lot of specials. So I don't think I've ever paid full price for a Viseart palette, but they are just exceptional. Like the shades, the formula, they blend so well. They layer on top of each other so well. It is, I feel like, one of those beauty brands that are very understated in the YouTube platform. So if you haven't tried the Viseart palettes and you are curious about them, I highly recommend. They have never let me down. They're just a solid brand when it comes to eyeshadow formulas. I haven't actually tried anything else from Viseart, just their eyeshadows, but I have always been intrigued with their glosses, so that is something that I may purchase and try in the future. But they're just amazing shadows, beautiful, long-lasting. They don't blur together. So what I mean by that is sometimes there are eyeshadow formulas that when they're not done well, at first when you apply them, you can see the dimension and placement of where you've put each shadow, but throughout the day it'll all like muddle together and look like just one weird color, because everything it's moved around. It doesn't stay in place. So that's not, that's a sign of, not a good quality eyeshadow. You don't get that with Viseart. I think it's just such a good, well-formulated product. These colors are not revolutionary. I do know that. I love this color story, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna take out 3 different eyeshadow palettes just so that I can dupe one eyeshadow palette. It's too much work for me, and I literally don't have the bathroom space for it. My bathroom and my home, it's very tiny, so I do have to be very selective with what I purchase, because I don't have a lot of space. So in my bathroom, I will only have enough space for one eyeshadow palette. So I have to make sure that the eyeshadow palette that I am using has everything that I need, even brow bone highlight, because when I'm doing my makeup at 6 in the morning to get ready for work, your girl doesn't have a lot of time, you know what I mean? So I need to make the most of it and make sure that it is quick, efficient, and that I know it's gonna come out beautiful no matter what I choose to do that morning. And so when I pick eyeshadow palettes, I always think, am I gonna use this until I pan every single shadow? And if the answer is yes, I'm picking up that eyeshadow palette. If the answer is maybe or no, I don't, because I don't have the space for it. Like where am I gonna put that? I also don't like to be wasteful, so I am really selective with what I choose to purchase. And I do know that every single piece of makeup I have in my collection is something that I will use until I run out. So again, if you've been wanting to try this is a beautiful color story. I mean, you have everything you need to do daytime or nighttime looks with this. I think that this is something that you can wear to work. You can wear every day. You can wear this on date night, because you do have some deeper shades in here that can really allow you to smoke things out. And I always like to have the option to do a night look with a shadow, but it's not something I do often. I'm in bed by 10:30. Yeah, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere past 8. Anywhere. And it's not just because I have a kid now. I'm just that kind of person. I'm in bed already. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm not riding that nightlife wave. I didn't even do it in my 20s. I was that person. You see those memes on Instagram of like a cat with like the covers like rolled up to like their nose? Like this is my Friday night and I'm totally happy with it. A little cup of wine, maybe a little popcorn, watching a really nice show. That is my version of a good time. Yeah. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this look. I hope I didn't bore you to death. And you can recreate this yourself with similar colors. So, I mean, none of the things that I've used in this video are new. I mean, this is not a new release. Neither is the blush or the lipstick or anything like that. You're gonna be seeing more videos of me using things that I actually have in my collection, things that are not new, just because coming this new year, I will be purchasing much less makeup because my collection has grown to, thankfully, an amount where I basically own a lot of everything. I have a little bit of everything, and unless a collection comes out that with something that I don't own, that's something different, that, you know, is not something I have over and over in my collection, it's not something I will be picking up, because I want to be able to use my stuff. I want to enjoy the stuff that I have, and I think that we're getting a lot of the same thing with these makeup brands. We're not getting different. We're getting just the same shadows that are being repositioned to look like something different. And I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel like it's very repetitive. And before I go and I buy something, I kind of sit here and I do look at what I have. I look at the eyeshadow palettes that I have and I'm like, is this really different enough for me to add into my collection? Unless it's something that I absolutely love and need to have, then I'm not picking it up. I may go on my wish list, and maybe for a birthday or a Christmas, you know, somebody will gift it to me, but will I personally go out and buy it? No. And I am gonna be purchasing a lot less limited edition products, because it's not something you guys can find. But I will be using what I do have that's limited edition, because I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I love to see videos of people using limited edition products that they own in their collection, because I may have those products and I like to find inspiration in that. You know, I want to know if you really like it. I want to know if that product has stood the test of time, because if that brand comes out with a limited edition product again in the future, I will consider maybe it's worth purchasing. So you will be seeing a mixture of things that I own, things that you can still purchase, and then some limited edition products sprinkled in here and there for those of you who picked up that collection and want to use it and rediscover it and fall in love with it all over again. So I will stop rambling, but I did want to brief you guys on the videos that you will see coming up this year. So I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and see you next time. Bye.